My name is Alex, and I'm 28. If you'd asked me a month ago, I would have said my family was only a little messed up, the kind of stuff most families deal with. Like snide comments at Thanksgiving, my mom clearly favoring my younger sister Emily, and my dad being totally clueless about it all. Annoying, yes, but not a big deal. Then Emily got married, and everything changed. That's when I realized, my family doesn't just have favorites, they have a main character, and spoiler alert, it's not me. Here's some background. Emily is 25, and she's been treated like a queen her whole life. When I was 16, I got a used car. When she turned 16, she threw a fit because she wanted a new one, and she got it. She's the golden child, always right, even when she's obviously wrong. Me? I was the older one who had to be the good example. That meant doing everything right but never getting credit. If I got a B, Mom would say, "You can do better." If Emily got a C, it was time for cake and balloons. Still, I went into Emily's wedding knowing it wasn't about me. I was ready to be the supportive sibling, smile in the pictures, stay out of the way. But I didn't expect them to make it so clear where I really stood in the family. The red flags started early. First, I found out I wasn't in the wedding party. Okay, no big deal, not everyone includes siblings. Then I found out that Emily's childhood friend, her coworker, and even her fiancé's cousin's girlfriend were in the wedding party. That hurt a little, but maybe she just wanted something different. Then came the seating chart. I didn't expect to be at the head table, of course, but I thought I'd at least be seated with family. Nope. When I got to the venue and picked up my place card, something felt off. I wasn't seated with my parents, my aunts, or my cousins. In fact, I wasn't even on the seating chart. I had to ask someone where I was supposed to sit. A wedding planner checked her list, smiled nervously, and pointed. "Oh, Alex, you're right here," she said. I looked, and saw it. My seat wasn't in the ballroom, not near the flowers and chandeliers. It was outside, in the hallway by the coat rack. At first, I laughed. I thought it had to be a mistake. Maybe they ran out of room? But no, that was my assigned seat, a small table near the front door, surrounded by winter coats. I turned to the planner, still kind of smiling in disbelief. "You're kidding, right?" She looked uncomfortable. "I'm really sorry, but this is where you've been placed." Placed, like I was being given a prison bunk. I wasn't angry yet, just confused. Was this some kind of weird joke? I needed answers, and I knew who to ask. I found Emily near the bridal suite, glowing and surrounded by her friends and our mom, who was fussing over her dress. She saw me and gave me the fakest smile ever. "Oh hey, you made it." I held up the place card. "Yeah, quick question, why am I not sitting in the reception hall?" She blinked, then actually giggled. "Oh, that? Yeah, we had to change a few things last minute." "Right, and somehow I'm the one who got moved to the hallway?" She shrugged like it was no big deal. "Well, we had to prioritize close family at the main tables." I just stared. "I am close family." That's when my mom, who had been pretending not to hear, chimed in all sweet. "Now Alex, don't make a scene, it's Emily's big day." "I'm not making a scene, I'm asking why I'm literally sitting with the coats." Then Emily said the thing that made this the worst wedding I've ever been to. "Well, you're kind of not really immediate family anymore." I froze. What did that even mean? "Excuse me?" She shrugged again and started fixing her veil, like I was boring her. "You moved out years ago, you don't visit much, and, like, you're not married, it's just different now." I didn't even know what to say. It wasn't just anger I felt, it was something colder, heavier, like I didn't belong anymore. All because I grew up, moved out, and lived my own life, because I wasn't married. Before I could respond, someone else jumped in. That's when I saw her, Emily's new mother-in-law. I hadn't really talked to her before, but the moment she walked over, I could tell, she was the kind of person who loved drama and liked to stir things up. She gave me a smirk and said, "Oh, you're Alex, I was wondering who that seat belonged to." I gave her a tight smile. "Yep, that's me, the sibling who doesn't count, apparently." She laughed and looked me over, acting like she felt sorry for me, but clearly didn't. "Well, you know how weddings are, only the important people get the good seats." And then it hit me. This wasn't a mistake, this wasn't poor planning. They did this on purpose. And she was enjoying it. Something in me snapped. I wasn't going to sit in the hallway like an afterthought, and I definitely wasn't going to stay quiet about it. I took a deep breath and looked at the place cards in my hand, feeling my grip tighten. Okay, I thought, if this is how they want to play, fine, but they forgot something. I've known Emily my whole life, I know her secrets, I know what she says behind closed doors. Most importantly, I know she hates her new mother-in-law. Sure, she fakes a smile around her, but I've heard what she really thinks. And now I had an audience. I looked at Emily's mother-in-law and gave her a fake kind smile. You know, it's funny, just the other day, Emily was stressing about the seating chart. Emily, who'd been checking her nails and pretending to be bored, suddenly froze. Her mother-in-law raised an eyebrow. Oh, she said. I nodded and kept my voice casual. Yeah, she was really worried, said she didn't want certain people too close to the head table. I paused, then leaned in like I was sharing a juicy secret. Something about not wanting her wedding photos ruined by, what was it, Emily? I turned to look at her, tilting my head. Oh, right, someone's tacky dress. The group went quiet, my smirk disappeared. Emily's face turned pale. Hey, Alex. But I wasn't done. And remember how stressed you were about the speeches? You said you were really nervous about what certain people might say. I looked her up and down. I think your exact words were, if she gives a speech. I swear, I'm going to lose it, I said. She's so embarrassing, she'll probably find a way to make the whole day about herself. Emily's face changed, she made a panicked sound and reached for my arm. Can I talk to you in private? She asked quickly. I pulled my arm away and gave her an innocent look. Why? I thought this was a family talk. Since I'm not part of the immediate family anymore, I figured I'd try to join in somehow. Emile, Emily's mother-in-law, turned to her with narrowed eyes. Is that true? Emily gave a nervous laugh and shook her head. No, of course not. Alex is just, oh, and don't forget the bachelorette party. I gasped and slapped my forehead. Oh right, how could I forget that? I looked at Emile. You know, the party where Emily spent half the night complaining about you? She said she was counting the days until she didn't have to pretend to be nice anymore, said she was only putting up with you to avoid wedding drama. That hit hard, dead silence. Emile's mouth dropped open, my mom looked horrified, my dad, who had been pretending not to notice anything, actually stepped back like he didn't want to be part of it. Emily's bridesmaids started whispering and staring at each other with wide eyes. Emily herself looked like she might explode, her mouth was moving, but nothing came out. Then Emile snapped. You ungrateful little brat. I had to bite my lip to keep from smiling, this was just getting started. You think you can just use me? Emile said, her voice sharp with anger. After everything I did, the money I gave for this wedding, the favors I called in. She waved her hand toward the ballroom, her nails catching the light. And you've been talking behind my back the whole time? Emily stammered. I didn't. Emile turned to my parents. You knew about this, you raised her to be this way. My mom looked like she might faint. Of course not, Emily would never. Oh, don't even start, I said, cutting her off. You totally knew, you just didn't care. I sighed, pretending to be tired of it all. I mean, you raised her to think she's the most important person in the world, so it's not a surprise she treats everyone else like trash. My mom's face twisted with anger. Alex, stop it. Why? I asked, crossing my arms. Because I'm the one making a scene? Funny how that only matters when I'm the one speaking up. No one cared when Emily literally sat me by the coat rack at the reception. By now, people were definitely watching, the whispers were louder, and guests were turning their heads, talking quietly to each other. Even the groom, who'd been missing during all of this, finally walked over, looking confused. What's going on? The groom asked, confused. Emile spun around to face him. I'll tell you what's going on. Your wife is a selfish, two-faced girl who's been talking trash about me and my family this whole time. The groom blinked. Wait, what? Em pointed at Emily, who looked like she wanted to disappear. She's been complaining about me for months, my dress, my speech, just me being here. She said she's only pretending to like me until she doesn't have to anymore. The groom slowly turned to Emily. Did you really say that? Emily shook her head quickly. No, I mean, not exactly like that. Em scoffed. Oh, not exactly like that? Please, and I actually thought you cared about this family. And just like that, everything exploded. Emily and I were yelling at each other. My mom tried to calm everyone down, it didn't help. My dad looked miserable, like he wanted to just vanish. The groom still looked like someone had hit him with a brick. I just stood back, sipping champagne like I was watching a play. And honestly, it was amazing. But I wasn't finished yet. Emily's voice got louder, her hands were shaking as she turned to her new husband. You're seriously going to believe her over me? She shouted, pointing at me. The groom was still trying to wrap his head around everything, his jaw was tight, and he looked both embarrassed and shocked as people stared. I don't even know what to say, he mumbled. Emily, did you really say that stuff? Emily rolled her eyes. It was taken out of context. I raised an eyebrow. Oh, that old excuse. I mocked her voice. Oh no, I was just joking, I made air quotes. Oh no, I didn't mean it like that. Then I dropped the act. Come on, Emily, you got caught, and let's be real, if I hadn't said anything, you wouldn't have cared at all. Em looked even angrier and turned to my parents. And you're okay with this? My mom opened her mouth, but nothing came out. We don't support. Cut it out, I said, waving her off. You knew how she felt, you just didn't want to ruin the perfect daughter image. I clicked my tongue. All about appearances, huh? Emily screamed. You're ruining my wedding, Alex. I looked around and smiled. Oh, I'm ruining it? Sorry, didn't realize I was the one treating people like garbage, especially your new family. Then I turned to the guests, who were all watching. What do you all think? Who's the real problem here? Most people avoided eye contact, but one of Emily's own bridesmaids whispered something to the person next to her, and they both laughed. Emily snapped her head around. You think this is funny? The bridesmaid smirked. Kind of, yeah. Emily's hands curled into fists, and I knew she was about to lose it. So I decided to end the show, I was getting bored anyway. I let out a long, dramatic sigh. Well, this has been lovely, but I think it's time I head out. Emily threw her hands up. Good, go. I grinned. Oh, I will. Then I turned toward the gift table, eyes scanning the expensive boxes, until I saw mine. The one I had picked out with care, the one that cost real money. Emily saw where I was looking, and her eyes went wide. Alex, don't you dare. I walked over calmly, humming as I picked up my gift. Her jaw dropped. You're actually taking it back? I gave her a flat look. Why would I leave it? I'm not real family, remember? I gasped sarcastically. Oh no, what if I infected it with my unworthy germs? I clutched my chest. Can't risk ruining your perfect little marriage, right? Emily turned red with rage. You're such a child. I shrugged, holding the box. Maybe, but at least I'm not fake. At least I don't smile to someone's face and then talk trash behind their back. I turned to Emile. Good luck, Mel, you're gonna need it. I give this thing a year. Emile actually laughed. Emily screamed. And I turned and walked toward the door. The tension behind me was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Everyone was whispering. The music had stopped. The wedding had gone from celebration to total disaster. And I loved every second of it. I paused at the door, looking back one last time. Emily was still yelling at Emile. My parents looked like they wanted to sink through the floor. The groom looked like he was rethinking his entire life. I gave a little wave, smiling. Enjoy your perfect wedding, sis. Then I walked out, and never looked back. Because honestly, I didn't need to. The damage was already done. And it felt better than I ever imagined. I let out a slow breath and shifted the wedding gift under my arm. Was it petty? Maybe. Was it satisfying? Oh, definitely. I drove home in silence, thinking about everything that had just happened, Emily screaming, Mom freaking out, Dad saying nothing, and Emile absolutely losing it. It was kind of perfect. But I knew it wasn't over. And I was right. The next morning, my phone blew up. Calls, texts, voicemails. Suddenly, my whole family remembered I existed. Mom had left 7 voicemails. Her tone flipped between begging and yelling. Alex, what were you thinking? You humiliated your sister on her wedding day. Call me back. Honey, please, just come over. We can fix this. That was the most selfish thing I've ever seen. I hope you're happy. Oh, I was. So happy. Then came the texts from Emily. Even better. We're done. You ruined everything. I can't even look at my wedding photos because of you. You took back your gift? Who does that? I hate you. I smiled as I scrolled through them, sipping my coffee. If she thought that would make me feel bad, she really didn't know me. But then I saw a message from Dad. He didn't yell, he didn't guilt-trip me. Just a short message. Call me when you can. I hesitated, but eventually I called. Dad wasn't the type to get involved in family drama. He usually stayed quiet while Mom and Emily ran the show, so if he was calling now, it had to be serious. He picked up after 2 rings. Dad? There was a pause, then a sigh. Why did you do it? I rolled my eyes, like this was all my fault. Then he sighed again, and kind of laughed, tiredly. Yeah, they kind of brought it on themselves. That surprised me. Wait, you agree with me? I didn't say that, he said, but I saw how they treated you. It wasn't okay. I leaned back. So, what, you're the only one not blaming me? There was a pause. Not the only one. Turns out, things got worse after I left. Emile blew up at Emily in front of everyone. She asked if what I said was true. Emily panicked and tried to lie, but Emile already had her doubts. What I said was the final push. By the end of the night, Emil had basically cut Emily off. And the groom? Furious. He thought Emily and his mom got along. Finding out that wasn't true, and in front of everyone, wrecked him. According to Dad, he and Emily had a huge fight after the wedding. Like, maybe we shouldn't be married huge. My parents? Caught in the middle. Mom tried to smooth things over, but Emil was done. She blamed Mom for raising a spoiled brat and said Emily wasn't welcome around her family anymore. So what's the deal now? I asked. Dad sighed. Emily's not taking it well. Shocking. She's blaming you for everything, says if you'd kept quiet, none of this would have happened. I laughed. Of course she does, no way she'd actually take responsibility. Dad paused, then said. She wants you to apologize. I nearly choked on my coffee. Apologize? Seriously? She thinks that will fix it? She thinks if you say sorry, maybe Emil will forgive her and things will go back to normal. I couldn't stop laughing. Yeah, no chance. Dad's voice got lower. I don't think you should either. That made me pause. Really? I saw what happened, maybe it was time someone finally stood up to her. That meant more to me than I expected. So now what? I asked. Dad sighed again. Your mom's still trying to fix things with Emil, but I don't think it's working. The groom's barely talking to Emily, and Emily, she's a mess. Good. I didn't say it out loud, but yeah, I felt good. Emily had spent years treating me like I didn't matter. Now she was finally facing the consequences. Dad added. I just thought you should know. Your mom's probably going to call again. She can try, I said. I'm not picking up. Dad chuckled. Can't blame you. And that was that. It's been a few weeks. I haven't heard from Emily. She still won't admit she did anything wrong. Still blames me. Still expects me to fix it. But I'm not going to. I don't regret what I did, not even a little. As for the marriage, let's just say I won't be shocked if it doesn't last. So what do you think? Was I being petty? Or did my sister finally get what she deserved? Let me know. I could use a good laugh.